Hey guys, Paladin Piper, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're doing a review, The Merry Monk, a Drucker & Sons English Flake Cut. So, this tin is from July 25th of 2023, and I will read you the description on the back. That night, a wondrous and exotic scent mingled with the campfire's aromas. The Merry Monk spoke. It's called a pipe, filled with tobacco, brought from the far-off lands. We can all partake. To smoke is said to sharpen the wit and provide good humor. The men gathered as the hooded brother passed out pipes. So enjoyable was the practice that from this night onward they would have been known as brothers of the pipe. Red and bright Virginia leaf is seasoned with Cypriot Latakia and St. James Perique, then enlivened with white burley and black toasted Cavendish. This rich mixture, opulent and almost scandalous, is pressed and aged in cakes before being sliced into flakes. Gregory Pease. All right, as my shirt comes undone. So, what other pipe could you have the Merry Monk in other than, I just thought this was super fitting tonight, was the Medico Churchwarden Monk Church. Had to try it. And this so happens to be, of my two Medico Churchwardens, the English Churchwarden pipe. Aha. We're going to crack her here. All right. Ooh, smells smoky and sweet. Show you this puck. Try to get this thing out of here. There we go. Ooh, more than one puck. Oh, more than 3 pucks. 1 puck. 2 puck. 3 puck. All right. Yep, it's a flake cut. There is the cut. All right, we will get this packed up in the Medico Churchwarden, and we'll give you my thoughts on it. All right. We are back, and moisture out of the tin is moist, so we are going to have relights, but that's okay. That's what's fun about pipe smoking. Now, I am not a proficient user of the Churchwarden pipe, so use my camera. So, right off the bat, there's my little ashtray here. You get a very nice, sweet, smoky character. Kind of that creosote with a little bit of incense. Very pleasant. Very pleasant indeed. Definitely rich. On a cold evening like tonight, this is very welcomed. There kind of came that musty floral from the Orientals. All that dry, woody. White burley is playing a supporting role, which I like. A little bit of nuttiness there. A little bit of sweetness that kind of rounds things out. Virginia tang there. Well, that's kind of nice. All right, guys, I'm going to go on the journey. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back very soon. So I am just finishing the first third of the Merry Monk. And if you guys are new to my channel, first of all, welcome. Secondly, when I do a review, typically what I like to do is I want to do the first slide on camera with you guys so that you get the notes as I get them, and I try to talk out, as I'm tasting them, I'm trying to give you the notes, so that way at least if it does sound of interest to you, this blend, then when you try it, you can see what you get. So, however, I typically then like to smoke it all the way down to the beginning of the last third, which is typically where I usually stop with most pipe blends. Most of the time, the blends at that point get a little ashy to me. Nicotine ticks up usually over what most of the bowl is, at least to me, and I just get I'm done with it. But if I come back early, it's usually because something's so horrible that I want to tell you about it, or it's because something has really impressed me and I want to tell you about it because my memory is that of Dory from Finding Nemo. Yeah. So, with the Merry Monk, let me start by saying, traditionally speaking, Greg Pease's blends and my palate do not really get along. I have done Quiet Nights. I have done their other Drucker and Sons, which have not been bad. They weren't great, but they haven't been bad. I have done Chelsea Morning. Now that I'm saying this, Westminster, I think, is my only GLP's blend that I've really loved, that I've actually gone out and purchased more of after the 10 was gone. Windjammer I liked, but I didn't purchase more of it in the end. Yeah, I think that's it. So, to the point. If you want to cut the video off now, this is an A. I cannot believe how well this is blended, at least to my palate. This is a symphony of flavor profiles in an English blend. So the complete opposite, if you guys watch my Bourbon Street review, how there were almost, well, I think that Bourbon Street had dark fired in it, I think. I could be wrong, but anyway, it had a lot of components and they were all washed out and you really couldn't detect anything and they didn't really play well together. And bleh. This blend, you can pick up at each puff differing components that are driving the bus and backing away, rounding things out, different components that round things out. So for instance, one puff, I was getting really nice Cavendish sweetness that's just rounding everything out. And then 2 puffs later, it's the Orientals that kind of went forward. And then another puff, it was more the Burley that kind of came through with that nuttiness, a little bit of cocoa. Then it was more of it went back to kind of more of the incensey creosote Latakia that was driving the bus. And then it was, you get this nice red Virginia tang with a little bit of the bright notes, that kind of grassy note. Very well done thus far. And and then there's this kind of old bookshop, old library character to it that just is very welcoming to me. The garage note, I'm going to say this, Grandma, if you're listening, kind of reminds me of my grandmother's house, like just that kind of warm, little musty, because she had a lot of old books. Had an old TV in there that was, I mean, it was a piece of furniture. It wasn't just a TV. I mean, it was a beautiful oak piece of furniture with a little screen the size of my iPhone, sitting in the center, with this big clicker, and it had this just feel and smell of weight and old world to it, because my grandmother was born in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and that's what this is reminding me of, and I love it. I really do. I am very curious to see how this is going to age. And so I'm going to take another couple puffs. I may come back and do another cut here in just a second. But I'll tell you a little funny joke. So when I first picked this up, like there, really nice burley notes coming through. And then there was a little bit of Perique, and it wasn't overly done. Enough spice, say, hey, I'm here, but nothing to hit your back of your throat or burn or anything. It was just nice. A little bit of that plummy was kind of there too with it. Yeah, and then there's kind of more of the incensey latakia kind of creosote thing driving. Great. So when I picked this up, I had to text Curmudgeon Piper and let him know, of course, And I told him, I said, if I don't like it, I'm going to send it to you. You're not getting it, Doug. So, and there was this kind of melding right there of all of the flavors together that give you this old world, I'm going to say it, bookshop grandma's house kind of thing. And if you guys have been with me for any length of time, I live in the early 1900s. That's where my mind is. I buy clothing like that. That's where I live, and this is that, man. This is great. I love all my codger blends, and they will never go away in my cellar, and I will always reach for them almost daily. But Merry Monk is going to go in Paladin's cellar. It is a good enough English to stand up to the rest of my Englishes, which I don't love a lot of Englishes. Father Dempsey is probably my favorite English, Tree Mix being a close second. This may overtake that. And Smoked in a Churchwarden, can't complain. Guys, A++ for the Merry Monk, Drucker and Sons. If you can find it, I know it kind of comes in and out, and it gets bought up pretty quick. I see why now. Very, very good. Very, very good blend. So, all right, guys. With that, I'm just going to cut it here because I know this is going to be long. We will see you very soon on another Paladin Piper video. Take care, guys.